dangerous. He could get caught.
Oh, the timing was pretty good from Spring just after the clear had come from the Trailblazer. But why is he at least able to react to complete the kill?
That instant dink just gets Spring. The hit punch couldn't actually get his crosshair back on him. K-Knight spots up the other two. That's a very weak YU. Susceptible to the nade. Has to get out of the way. Just going to damage up Y Sword. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. The entirety of BLG are here.
Wolves low. They are beaten black and blue by some of this util exchange across the map. Are they going to go for it? Levioso's waiting for them. Into his clutches falls YU. Juicy, though, does finally get rid of that 10 HP YZ in heaven. But Rushia simply steps up in his stead. Spike loose. Classy little right click.
10 seconds left.
That's the round. Put away.
Things just getting entirely disconnected for Wolves. I imagine at some point they wanted to try to get back through vents on account of their IGL super just still being entrenched on B, working his way there. They'd like to have pivoted back, but BLG just had the full stack rotation over to A, denying them with a Viper wall, that nade keeping them at bay. Crucially, YZ finds the opener. This is the map. The last time these two teams faced off, it was in the qualifying game to Toronto. Wolves took it. And the BLG, they got the revenge in that lower final. It was a clean sweep, 3-0. They know how to beat Wolves, but do they know how to beat them on this map?
Even Sentinel struggled with this attack side from Wolves, where they got to dictate the pace. Marshall's shot, YZ spraying him off wildly. Haphazard has to back away. Catches YU though, as he stepped a little too far. And YZ got that paint shell elimination. Pretty devastating impact from the duelist on ramps, leaves Wolves down to their last two players. Scavenging the Marshall. Spring inside his poison orb is hoping for a pot shot. And he's got nothing to see as it clears.
No fuel.
Double stacked up on BLG. They should make light work of this situation, and they do. We'll be dropping a couple players. YZ was happy to take several engagements towards ramp, get very close to that showstopper. 2 orbs away, very early into this half.
And to put this map in context a little bit more, White, just as, you know, BLG have gotten off to a great start. Not a good map for them historically. In China, they got 13-1 by Trace. They lost to this very Wolves team 13-8 in that upper bracket semi. So historically it's not favored them, but this is the perfect start to start to turn the tides.
This is going to take everything they've got left in the tank. YZ going to need to put on an all-star performance to make it back to the playoffs. He knows what it takes. He's been there before. So is K-Knight. Against a Wolves team trying to make this kind of run for the very first time.
He's got an audio issue down on stage. Be rectified momentarily. Just the run. I mean, there's a lot of history between these two teams. We definitely delved into that at the start of this game. But the fact that BLG, in order to get here to Toronto, had to take the hardest route, the highest climb. They had to dispatch EVG of all teams in that lower bracket to shock the world, frankly, that we'd be looking at an event that they wouldn't be present at, considering how, not so long ago, they stood at the top of the world. That speaks volumes about the depth that's starting to develop in the Chinese region, and the fact that we have 2 teams from China still alive in this Swiss stage, still fighting for their playoff spot, speaks volumes. And remember, big brother Shilai Gaming awaits in those playoffs as well. We're in for a treat in this game, and we're going to see much more Chinese Valorant with 2 of their representatives making playoffs no matter what.
That may just make some people rethink how good Shilai Gaming are. Waiting, watching this Swiss stage. Some absolutely sick players on that team. Raga, who has just been tearing up the entire Chinese scene throughout this year.
Raga, who humbly says he thinks he's the worst duelist here in Toronto.
My humble king.
It smacks of sandbagging, but
Ain't no way, but my humble king.
I will allow it. But again, with these two teams showing us what number 2 and 3 seeds from China can provide, only gets you more excited, only whets your appetite for what awaits us later on this week. But for now, let us deal with the smorgasbord in front of us. Heading into the first bye for Wolves as Billy want to secure a tight little bonus.
Going to be a few SMGs for Billy. They'd love to get close up some of these angles. They've got fair control over towards B main. Levius keeping Wolves at back towards mid engagement from YU, and YZ thinks better of taking that. Just collects the orb happily, one away from the showstopper. Keep your eyes on that. If he can find a kill somewhere, things get scrappy. He could win this round for the team.
Solid reception there though by Knight. Trading evenly other defenders. And leaves only Sufat, the one to emerge from the dust cloud in mid. Now needs to kind of wait for his teammates on the extremities to give him a little bit more of an inkling where the remainers of Billy are arranged.
YZ is currently pressing up towards A main, if you look at that on the minimap. That's going to keep BLG interested towards
timing.
This side of the map. Wow, they're rotating through mid right now. YU just catches the first, and Sufat turns around. Billy getting way too happy to explore on the map.
30 seconds left.
And that call, instead to explore the extremities further, but to bolster that mid-presence for Wolves, pays off beautifully. It sees YU emerge on the perfect timing to unseat them.
Fighted.
This leaves YZ in a position, paint shell still at hand. Sufat relatively low. It's a big ask for even the best in this situation. I count YZ among them. He too feels that discretion might be the better part of valor here. Wyatt, they have to fight another day.
He did full invest into the Phantom this round, so certainly wants to keep that. Has the lowest credits on the team due to the investment. Billy just doing way too much in the mid round there. Way too much.
And maybe it's a nervousness about knowing the A side of the map is slightly weaker. It's just YZ sat in there in heaven. Instead of sort of rotating through spawn to the back part of the map, they think that they're safe with, two players crossing mid together, and in theory you'd be considered reasonable for that decision. It blows up in their face though.
BLG headed to their full buy. These were some good trades back and forth. Levy is popping out of that smoke to get the second. Sufat doing the exact same. Things even.
I mean, Sufat has to respond very quickly to that call from YU.
Yeah,
just in time.
Really just serving themselves up. Here's the full buy from BLG. Max investment still. It's this showstopper that YZ is on the precipice of collecting. He is playing over towards ramp right now, solo. Wolves, no emphasis on mid. They wanted to pressure towards B main early. And now Sufat wants to ensure that no one will be walking down. Certainly aware that that's the kind of play YZ will be absolutely happy to make.
There is a very large amount of utility to play through as attackers on this A side. Wolves, we saw them, with that double sentinel composition. Billy played into that well, sort of clearing it slowly. Now they're in a position where they've got to do something much the same. They have that ramp position, but they're not convinced. They don't see anything to play off of. And YZ was drawn out of mid back to sort of reinforce this position. So mid's a little weaker now as a result. And that might be Wolves finding a golden opportunity to capitalize there.
They are taking their time pivoting back towards mid. YU had thrown a really deep trip towards A heaven, so at least we'll know if anyone's walking up on that side of the map. But the defensive cam is getting info there. Things are starting to increase with the tempo. Juicy is getting into vents right now. We'll take an engagement. Oh, what is that timing? Brutal!
Showstopper immediately developed, and Lysol is just tucked on the corner. YZ getting away with everything there. Levies has pushed up now. Net closing on Sufat. He's able to deal with YZ, but time wasn't there anyway for Wolves. It would have been a struggle for them to get anywhere on the map after that. A little bit too slow, a little bit too awkward. YU just wants to try and keep his gun. Can't blame him. That is brutal stuff. YZ pops up yet again to the detriment of the attackers.
That timing is just going to have Juicy sick to his stomach. What was that? Just milliseconds away from him getting an easy kill with YZ on the rope. It's an early timeout call from Fade. This was the map I called out earlier when he was going for timeouts. Had significant impact. There were moments where Wolves began to go on runs against Sentinels. Kept that map so close.
Grenade!
Just going to throw up that poison cloud, so Sufat can likely get onto this orb. It's just one away from the knife. Oh, love to have that moment spurring down there. Cover going. Great opportunity to use it. They fully invested into this.
Rushia had the perfect location there to punish that poison orb. Found a gap just above it. And this is where Wolves have look to struggle a bit. That slow momentum, converting those 4v5s has been really challenging for them.
This is interesting. That's a unique double face. Juicy wins a 1v1 against YZ in mid in the meantime.
That's going to be a boost, no doubt about it. Why Juicy's Neff? There's no opportunity for a swing. Levius remain hidden. So Juicy has claimed. YU lingers in mid though, wants to take this fight. Really trying to get into heaven, I think, with some burst of momentum. And Lysor opens up an opportunity at the B side. That is massive. Now it's K-Knight, who doesn't quite know really if the plan is to stick to B, but Lysor's going to reveal the intent of Wolves now. YU wants to keep this Cypher as busy as possible for as long as possible. And the shorty to the breadbasket will take the round away. Wolves got to feel good. And that's a 4v5 conversion we were saying that was sorely missing.
Heroic play from YU in mid. Juicy gets that initial 1v1 kill here against YZ. What a snap as well. I mean, I like the idea, swinging while the Trailblazer is running out, but the snap is sickening. He called out the importance of that 1v1 win with YU taking his time. Such high impact.
So how do you build off this foundation? Gonna buy here for Wolves. The look towards B this time paid off, albeit not in the way we thought it would. There was a mid opportunity that was capitalized on. There's a drift here through sewer though from Wolves.
Early presence shown in mid by Juicy sends out that. Well, now they've worked their way over towards A fully. YZ is posted up close with the judge.
Prowler sees it. That's the judge position defeated. YZ has to try and leave it. Boombot in his way. Showstopper though didn't find much. Still a quick push here from Wolves. Looking for that ramp control now. Post Nightfall. It's K-Knight here. Oh, the spray through the cyber cage is sublime. Levius also to his right can assist, but Juicy. Okay, you can't account for those. You can't count on them. That's given Wolves another way into the round.
They want to press forward. Juicy wants to break the crosshairs a little bit ahead of the rest of the pack, but Neff goes back in, wants to find that kill. And now YZ caught with the judge alone, tucked in hell.
No chance to make good use of this weapon in this round, and even here it's awkward. It's long range, downwind.
30 seconds left.
And Rushi's got to step into this 1v3 with a little bit of alacrity. Juicy's handle, but from below, it's Spring and Seal Fat. And now Wolves, that head of steam that we're looking for on this attack side, starting to build. Great util usage to clear that close angle. They suspect that a judge might be waiting.
Juicy is turning up right now. Gets the trade with just the spam through. Well, able to collect this kill. The Neff swinging back out. That is so high risk, and he is absolutely punished for that. Wolves had no other options, by the way. They had no map control elsewhere.
Yep.
For all they know, players could be pushed down mid, wrapping them. They have to commit forward. They can feel themselves potentially being encircled, but they win out all the duels. Rusha early peak. Of course, just with a ghost on this, Eco, Spring, back to doing what we know best from him on this split map, which is just playing B main, taking it over.
This time Russia, though, steps pretty far forward. You can see where the Omen for Billy went down. Spring on a passive line is able to find an easy kill.
I know exactly where.
Juicy, man, I'm getting excited about him, Wyatt. He's been able to find these opportunities in a 4 versus 5 to give Wolves away into the round. Now they get a rare situation where they start from the front. And you can see how much better they look here. Levius on the line, but shows his gun barrel, and Spring cuts them down one after another. Easy B take for Wolves.
This round is as good as done. Juicy maybe hoping he could be the one to get a couple of these kills, get even closer to that showstopper that he's nearing just 2 away right now.
Oh, uncomfortable. So that's a gun recovered. Spring now, with YZ being low, getting topped up here by Neff. A rare case of that healing is relevant. What a swing. It's getting a little costly for Wolves, but with multiple consecutive round wins, they've got a bit of bank, a bit of cushion. It's only a stinger that Neff would be maintaining. He'd have to cross in the dying seconds, I think, to pick up this rifle, and Juicy does not want to allow for that. But at some point, Wolves have to get out of dodge. They've got to get off the site. Juicy checks it. It's not good enough. Neff finds him flash, eventually handle. And Wolves get 2 players out. Costly, yes, but these attack rounds don't come easy, as we've just seen already.
A fair amount of damage to keep Wolves' economy somewhat honest, but it is Juicy getting the kills and dying. Now having the showstopper for this. They're going to have the Viper's Pit because Spring is starting to keep up. He's started to find these kills in B main. Collect orbs via the kills he's getting. So now they have that pretty classic 1-2, get into a site with a showstopper, use the pit for the post plant to win things out. Billy feeling the heat early on. They've seen what Wolves will be getting back into that. It's full Vents control for Wolves. Intentions of splitting onto A, it's looking like. But they can slow things down. They don't need to right now. Going back to what they love to do on split. Spring towards B, YU towards A. Go for a late pivot.
This whole approach to the round for Wolves has left YZ kind of stranded with that op over on B.
And it looks like Billy, they want to explore. They feel like they need to get some more info on the map. The timing on the cam is so unlucky for YU. And off that double push, now Wolves, they want to accelerate, hoping that the B site is going to be a bit lighter. Operator still here. First shot connected by YZ.
Oh, I spoke too soon. YZ gets the action he was hoping for in this round. Rushia on the side, anchors in there. YZ get another one with the op, and Juicy
down B.
has a round collapse all around him. Okay, Levius here should be unseated somewhat, but can hold his ground and convert. Wolves, you think they make the right choice and they deal with the Viper spin a minute at the start of the round. They end up getting forced after this exploration down ramp onto B, where YZ is patiently awaiting them.
I think that is a good little adaptation out of the timeout as well in the mid-round to try to punish one of the solo players on the extremities. The Wolves have been so happy to play 1-3-1s, commit very heavily with the pack towards mid. It was a little unlucky for YU with that timing. Billy happy to pick that up. Still maintaining operator for YZ. Angle down mid right now. A lot of stingers here for the Wolves side.
There is a gap for YZ to exploit. Growlin, of course, is something he's got to respect. Lysol wants to fill that space he has just vacated. So once more, Wolves start the round with that mid to ropes control, but Juicy might be quicker about getting up here.
And now giving up Vent, they want to take space elsewhere. Multiple players from BLG fighting towards A main. They want to fight up. Juicy is in. What a bizarre situation.
YZ able to win it out there with a showstopper. Now caught inside that fade util, and Sufat is able to convert. Bizarre round, absolutely ridiculous. Heaven maintained by Lysol with an operator of all things.
Spike being planted for him.
Oh, just misses on that shot. Stand out in the first map. At least gets back to safety now, anchored deep in this A side, and it's the loose end of Spring. That could be a problem for the defenders on the retake.
He's so late. He can just wait by his time, but he wants to face in. I don't know about that. It's just not necessary. It's opened things up for Billy.
Lysol needs to connect this op shot now. They have one chance only, and he delivers. That leaves it on Levius' desk. Fortunately, in this round, he's feeling more like a paperweight than anything else. Off he goes. And Wolves, it's a ham-fisted, haphazard round, but they fight through ropes into A.
A crazy situation with YZ ripping the showstopper. Again, there was a situation there in the mid-round where Billy, after getting all of that pressure through mid, wait, there's only going to be, a light couple players towards that A side. Let's push into them. But in contrast to the last round where it was just YU, he had a teammate there to support. That was Sufat jumping forward. With his op recovered as well for Lysor. They're able to convert a buy that they went into with just 3 stingers.
I think that might be too much hair.
There.
Otherwise, spot on.
Are you trying to call out the Widow's Peak, bro?
No, I didn't say that. That was you. As a member of the large and in charge forehead club, I would never.
Now it's Juicy with that operator. Chilling towards the A side. Billy have fully invested into this. That's left K-Knight rather with a lesser gun. Just the Stinger playing backside B with a full kill trip setup.
Definitely more tentative looks from Wolves. None of that audacious shove to the mid. And there it is, Juicy on the op. Man, again, he makes the opening. Gets caught out by Net, but surely some follow-up is there, and at least Wolves are able to trade somewhat efficiently into this A site.
That was a slow trade. Juicy getting a little bit disconnected from YU, who needed to win that duel and does come up. BLG, do they risk this? They need to find a kill somewhere, but Spring on this lurk timing.
Their economy in the balance, it's teetering, and this time Spring has the timing. Rolls are reversed, and Spring delivers for Flame 2. Nice handled, all too comfortably. Wolves extend that lead to 2.
BLG were hoping to find him alone back in A main, not expecting a late wrap through the vent all the way back through ramp. This is not the kind of lurk that Spring has gone for, I think. Yeah, in this half. Typically was just coming from A main.
Oh! Oh, the heel turn. He's too quick with it.
And now BLG, they are relegated to a bad bye. Things feel like they're beginning to get completely out of hand. Spring has gotten another Viper's Pit for a post plan. They're nearing the Nightfall, nearing the Showstopper. You know, a couple collected orbs, kills for the right players, spike plant for the right guy, and there could just be a sick array of ultimates for the last buy round in this half to deny Billy from getting more than 4, unless they can come up with something on this eco round.
Last eco for Billy. Russia pushed up too far in B main, and Spring ended up just taking 3 easy kills as he leisurely walked onto that site. This time it's a more passive, more patient start, but now we have an encounter brewing amid these smokes. Oh, Russia spotted. Spring hardly takes any damage though. That's a gun advantage. He looks to exacerbate, and once more history repeats itself. Spring a little bit low, but he's done the most. He has gotten everybody looking at this B side, distributing captive amongst BLG. So Knight has to step up, try and stop the bleeding. It's not possible.
30 seconds left.
Spring, just no doubt, has been one of the best players of this Swiss stage. When we watched him online during the run to get here, oftentimes volatile because of his willingness to just take fights on lurks, on defense, play a lot of off angles. He loves to take a duel. But when he's playing like this, he just looks like a god among men. He had games like that online, but when he had misses, that was putting the rest of the squad in tough positions trying to recover. He has been so consistent in this Swiss stage. I mean, if he plays like this against some of the other top teams, which to be fair, he already has, it feels like the sky is the limit for this guy. What a debut on the international stage. Just cleans up another. Why not? The spray control for that second kill in heaven while getting dinked. That's mental. 14 and 8 right now.
There's that first encounter. Yeah, Rushi just can't really find that level of purchase. That is astonishing. Once he dropped out, he heard it coming. Beautiful swing, whereas elsewhere there wasn't a whole lot to do for the rest of Wolves on the A side.
And that map 1, it was in terms of the fragging coming down to Lysor, unlikely hero, stepped up on the deadlock, IGL Supap, but now we're back to what we expected, the duo of Juicy and Spring putting in work. They have a Showstopper and a Pit, again, just use that first Raze ult to get into a site, Viper's Pit to try to close things out. Supap drawing some attention towards mid, center, the Prowler breaks the boomba, here comes the aggression towards A.
Juicy needs to clean open.
He's out in the open.
Just before the cyber cage came down, Juicy gets into the site without being picked up, and YC is just entrenched here at ramp and can't get out. Caught up, Rushin, nice timing. Silfat dealt with, and now it's Juicy. Deep as he is, just got the ping on Rushin's location and takes the challenge. He needs yet another one. That's Juicy!
The swing! The wide swing! He waited years to get onto this stage. And he is putting on an absolute show. Star player for Wolves. Dominant half on attack here. Again, they are so sick on this map.
What a way to send yourself into the break. Then a round like this, Red Bull clutch for Juicy. Feels like he's got that main character energy right now for Wolves. And it's history repeating itself. 8-4 scoreline, all the same from Wolves against Sentinels. A great attack side. Have they shored up some of their weaknesses on the defense side? That's something Coach Fade, who's feeling good right now, I'm sure, has to start thinking about as we look towards them taking an opportunity to qualify for those playoffs. More to come here after the edges of the map.
Throughout stage one, YZ was the duelist in China with the highest ACS, the highest KPR. Not just duelist, just player generally. He is an absolute menace. He has a fearless style, but you could just say the exact same for Juicy. Sees nade combo coming through, no connection.
Spring here by the Trailblazer, stunned up, but K9 is going to be a problem here, emerging from ropes. Cutting Wolves off at the knees. Spring had to find a way to stand up, but he was surrounded. And so it's Lysor, someone who we delightedly highlighted in the first map. His Ascent gameplay, that deadlock performance, excellent. A little bit more muted here. He's allowed some of his teammates here to take the spotlight. The Wolves are still going to need him to be at capacity to close this series out.
Excellent flank coming through from K-Knight off of an extreme distraction. There was an explosion of utility over towards ramp that every single player in the vicinity had to get out of dodge from. And that just offers him up no information towards mid, and he fully exploits that by putting his mark on the game after having a pretty silent first half himself. Coming up, BLG have needed him most.
Guiding Light, pretty informative as far as BLG are concerned. There is a massive push up for Wolves, and it's about to get even more massive. As Nev wasted very little time in heading to the other side of the map, away from the stack. Paranoia, they're really trying to push this. This might be a quick one, folks.
I must wait a moment.
Poison's off.
Cancel called on this push, though.
Yeah, they are going to fall back. I mean, once
Toxins going up.
YZ is able to tuck around the corner to safety,
Toxin screen down.
they feel like, let's go elsewhere. Let's gamble stack towards A, I think. It looks like they want to rotate, just figuring that, hey, we showed a lot, we paranoiaed, we haunted, we swung out. Surely they just go over to this A side, right? They kind of hesitated for a moment, though, and that is going to allow BLG to get into the site before Wolves can actually, kind of make this foray.
Okay, why is he overwhelmed instantly with the Bulldog starting to chime in from elbow?
Remaining.
K93, Spring down by his own teammate there, a little bit of an odd exchange.
That was tactical. No orb. No orb for a player on Billy. All good. That's why he did it. That's why he did it. It was a cool little attempt from Wolves. They throw out that haunt. If it gets broken, the Paranoia want to swing out of the dark cover, but the positions from Billy here were safe early on in that round. Just trying to play around and circumvent something exactly like that.
Player
They
standing.
clean things up. Able to just pivot over to that A side, rotate faster than Wolves could, who are now on the full buy. This is a strong bonus for Billy. A lot of weaponry to play with. YZ with the best among them. Phantom in hand. Flash to get information towards ramp so we can try to take some space. Cam broken as well. Safety on the cross for the rest of the team.
Trailblazer, something that only Billy in this matchup have access to. Looking to clear their way up ramp and also reveal the trap wire. That is cleared. And again, we'd like this from Billy on Ascent too. Good early moves, clearing that util, not fully committing to any part of the map.
They've left themselves an insert in Levius towards that A side as they want to go work mid. But to clear out male. Information now on Spring, who drops back.
This is still good. Diligent opener for Billy. Forcing Spring away.
With that attention up mid, wait, is this a timing from Levius? Oh, Spring catches him despite taking a lot of damage. And here's the execute onto the B site.
Juicy from Rafter.
Fully blinded.
Shrugs it off though. Just around the corner is K-Knight. Blast back thrown out to disrupt potentially Lysor.
30 seconds
Gets his
left.
in the back of the side and Juicy's now tucked. But why is he able just to swoop around the corner? Spring, just all of his targets evading him. So nice from Billy. Very clean. Securing this bonus means that we might have ourselves an even game on our hands.
Does YU try and go for this? Can he find a first kill? He's going to have to break this tripwire. Give up his positioning, swing out. Oh, so much damage.
He's done.
Just too many players able to face him after the trip is broken. I love the pathing from BLG on that round. The early pressure on ramp. They leave the insert. Then from there, they go back to mid. They're set up in a 1-3-1. They fake like, hey, we could be getting into vent, but
left.
we're also throwing the boombot into male. So when they actually go four people through B main, attention is just having to be drawn from so many players in different locations. You have Juicy scared about them coming through mail. It's a great burst out of main with all of their players. That was a great round from BLG. Really impressive stuff, and it's put Wolves on an eco. And it feels like just deja vu from the Sen game. They start slow on this defensive half. They lose the pistol. They get bonused. Same exact story.
Coming alive not a moment too soon, BLG. It's got us already starting to think about the potential of Pearl to come up.
Toxins going up.
Last time these two teams played on this map, it was not a good showing from Billy. 4 rounds. Very, very soft. This time, though, they know what's on the line. They know just how deep they need to dig, rather, to secure that playoff berth. A lot of Sheriffs here for Wolves. Silfat crossing mid at a time, and that causes him and Bushi to pass like ships in the night.
Neff has just gotten all the way into A, was running around as well, so...
He's calling it too.
Wolves definitely, or rather BLG, should be totally aware at this point that, yeah, A is wide open. They're just going to play it safe, and late round run all the way back over to Neff to make this look effortless, easy on round 16. Would be shocked if they take too much damage here, but don't want to speak too soon. Spring and Juicy do have Sheriffs. But even at this point, who cares about damage? The BLG economy is so good. Wolves need round wins on the board.
10 seconds left.
All right, well, cat's out the bag now for Wolves. Again, against a team like Billy, you can never sort of second guess. They do like to make those moves and reveal themselves pretty late into a round. The only Sheriff's board up, and now with the attackers fully entrenched, anchored in the A side, they're armed to the teeth. Wolves know there's just no outcome that will result in them really taking a round win from here. So set up for what you can. It's a rifle for young Spring.
One gun recovered, another kill for the board, sitting at a cool 18 right now.
It's a question of like what the plan should be going forward for Wolves. This early action hasn't exactly been fruitful. There we go. Just Spring, of course, with the rifle in hand, who opts not to perish to the spike. So, even game now, folks. 4 rounds in a row picked up for Billy. Building very nicely off a pistol win into a bonus win. Whereas Wolves have been a little absent. Haven't really been able to unravel things. And we've seen when the pace of the game gets taken away from them, they have, at times, struggled to assert themselves. That is more Josh than I could ever handle.
I don't need that many.
That is a full thrower team of sideshows.
One is enough. One is enough. Billy in a 1-2-2, slow prod towards mid right now. YZ taking his time to clear up forward. Really expecting some kind of trap play, which is set up towards B main, to be fair. There's looking like a paranoia seize. Something for Juicy to capitalize off of. Maybe seize nade as well.
Returning to this point, but Juicy was the one that got Wolves rolling. They had a rough start to this map. They were often in 4v5s, losing a player early in the round. Juicy was still able to, just by brute force, create an opportunity into the map. And credit to the rest of them, they did convert on those.
All events just taken for free. Some good map control right now for BLG. Dark cover is thrown really deep in heaven so they can get in here. K-Knight grouping up with them, making their presence known so they can just pivot back through vent, get into mid, go for a B split.
Look at how they pulled the rotation. Yeah, Juicy realizes he needs to double back over towards the defense side. Spawn here.
30 seconds left.
Lysor trying to hold the left side of this, but crosshair positioning broken as Neff dives on out. Lysor here has to come alive, and that might just be enough. Stunning follow-up.
One enemy remaining.
Levizier is bereft of teammates, running out of time. It certainly doesn't have a lot of options at his disposal. Wolves finally rewarded for their patience, trying not to over-rotate early, even though Juicy was at risk of doing just that. Levizier doesn't have time to plant here, it's done.
That really is the key. Both of these teams just playing that slow style on attack, not over-committing. They are happy to make these late pivots. Love to see Lysor making his mark on this map. We talked about the experience of this guy. Every international event he attended last year. Certainly cannot say the same for the rest of Wolves. They are new to this. Sufa IGL saying it's been his dream to be here. Worked through so much and has arrived on the stage.
That has got to feel vindicating.
Fashion.
Vindicating for Lysor. Again, having such a fantastic showing on Ascent. He was a little bit slow to start here, but that's composure, that's years of experience, that anchoring on that B side. And if Wolves can follow up their slower approach to these defense side rounds with precision and composure like that, they'll have the stopping power against this BLG team.
Trying to funnel the orbs over to Neff, get him very close to the Seekers being activated in this round. Set up to play off this unbreakable trip, doubled up. Again, it's just this patience from BLG, which does feel very un-BLG-like. When is YZ just going to run it down and just keep pushing?
Yeah, I mean,
really haven't seen a whole lot of that.
It's the same on Ascent, right? It gets the double Senti comp. In fairness, that kind of requires a bit of a lighter touch. Patient, trying to work the map. They pulled a bunch of early rotations from Wolves in the previous rounds. Levius has walked up, and he didn't know there was still so much presence at B. Okay, time to anchor.
They want to get in. Wow, from the shadows actually pop. Why are you getting some assistance with Lysor here?
I've got your trade.
There's no follow-up for Spring. There's no way to double down on at least secure a trade. Why are you good for it though? Lysor to the rescue. Just the one this time around, but one might be enough. There's Rishia down to 33 health with two players about to accost him from that heaven side. This would have to be a monumental clutch. Pinged down by the Horde. Juicy comfortably dispatches. Now, that money's starting to bleed down a little bit for Billy. It's such a good start to this half means they've been inoculated from this sort of volatility. Can still keep the pressure on with those weapons. But Wolves are getting more comfortable in this slower, more anchor-centric approach.
This was great from Lysor to get over to assist YU, who was fully committed to anchoring this site. So even though they got a pick elsewhere and theoretically would have loved to play for a retake with man advantage, that wasn't an option. They needed to help YU. Lysor gets over there with the ult. They double up, anchor so effectively.
Lysor!
And now we've got the timeout call.
Lysor! Can fall off this line if he's pressured.
That's just such a hard shot to hit. Has to swing out and get the reaction time.
And now you're just going to get stall utiled. Like, you're just going to have smokes rotated there by Lysor. And the cat's out of the bag about this operator buy.
I could see a situation here where this trip gets broken and then maybe a showstopper comes through. Yep, there it is from Juicy, who can't even get it off in time.
Okay, that's a bit of a miss, no doubt about it. Sealfat, though, sees a golden opportunity to play off that season, gets one, but doesn't expect there to be so many. Almost recovers in time, but it's not to be. And Lysor, there was an opportunity there, a chance to stop Billy in their tracks. The patience from the attackers has absolutely paid off.
10 seconds left.
And YU's got no business being on that B side of the map.
Just a moment away from Juicy likely converting two if he was able to get that rocket fired. But Neff was a little bit too quick with the spray down. And Juicy was just hesitant for but a slight moment before popping that showstopper too when he was in the corner. All those little things adding up, spelling disaster for the side of Wolves. They've still got enough money to buy here. We head into the next round, still maintaining the lead, but just barely. Compared to the last time these two teams played on this map, Billy have looked so much better here today.
Shadows traveling.
Yeah, we've really got to, I think, acknowledge the step up from both sides. I mean, the Ascent gameplay for Wolves is light years apart from what we saw last time they played Billy with a really very poor showing on that map. Last time out here for Wolves, Billy having expended theirs and then were able to take the round. Even when things looked a bit dire early, this exchange, this is the difference maker.
I was waiting to see when this time it would actually be called by Fade, and it's essentially at, you know, give or take a couple rounds, more would ascend, but the exact same. Broken by Spring is just going to
No more
keep his
charges
eyes
left.
on B main. If he can find a kill, has that Viper's Pit on this round.
The showstopper could be pretty relevant. YZ's trying to open up mid with this op. Juicy this time feels like a more subtle approach to controlling Mailroom, and Heaven might be in order.
He doesn't really have anyone to swing off of him. Why is he running forward? What a spray down from Juicy! No one able to trade. K-Knight trying to get into the site, trying to make something happen.
We pushed up with an op. YZ was out in front of the wire.
30
This time,
seconds left.
Juicy! Patience pays dividends! The flawless for Wolves out of absolutely nowhere. And all of a sudden, the mood and the entire room has changed. Juicy out of his seat. 4 brilliant kills. But look at the position they've forced BLG into, what they've had to do to try and take the map. Pushing up on the op on that angle.
30
A
seconds
little movement adjustment keeps the control on the spray to get an instant headshot when Neff tried to swing in. Can feel it, Wolves. They're on the precipice of doing the unthinkable. To some extent, both of these teams written off, but to a seriously greater extent for Wolves. And they are right within touching distance of making it into the playoffs. More so than I think any other international tournament in the past, China has been written off here, and yet we're about to get 2 teams in the playoff run.
I dropped the spike.
And even before that, we have a rivalry renewed. The 9th matchup between Wolves and Bilibili, one that Bilibili historically have dominated. 6-2 is their record. But more recently, it's this Wolves team that have come of age, that have come alive, and that have developed a new facet to their game. Bilibili grouped here with 3 on the B side. Once again, they don't get offered much early. In fact, Neff's on the receiving end of some shots down mid from Silfat. But a showstopper could be just what the doctor ordered to crack this site open. Spring, decent little intuition, but it's about to back away. The Viper's Pit's coming right down. Juicy sees a chance to trade and deals with the raise. Now turns his attention to the site itself, but it's wayward. Levius holds his ground. Neff low, but still being made use of on the A side to keep a couple Wolves players there. TP though in from
30
Russia
seconds left.
to bolster the attack side, forces it B. Neural Theft forces Silfat out. Now they know where the fade is playing from.
You could see Suvat really wanted to get in, but couldn't find the timing. Neff, patience required. He can't overplay his hand. Just simply existing in the backline, so Wolves know eventually they'll have to deal with this flank. Look at Leicester, the way he has to adjust, just expecting this flank to come at some point. But Neff merely needs to stay alive. Keep them distracted.
Lysor. Critics be damned. Fights 2. Tries to open this up, but now 1v2 for the round and time. Really not working for him at all. Maybe looking to keep a cap on these guns. Get in there and give it a tap. But unfortunately, his contemporaries fell apart on the site while he tried to hold. Right back to the tit-for-tat rounds we go. Bilibili get their 10th.
Spring was playing so close with that pit, so YZ had the ideal opportunity to catch him out with a showstopper. Sure, traded out by Juicy, who then tries to make the adjustment. Losing the duel to Levius. Sufat wanted so desperately to get into assists, but just had no chance to do it.
I will see you.
It's so funny. The reputation, I think, for these 2 teams coming out of the home region was that there was this volatile, fast-paced play, but this is so different. This is really looking like a chess match between our teams. Slow, early to mid-rounds, rotations to pull across the map, and finally these burst executes.
Full investment here for Wolves. This could be worth 2 for BLG, but the spam through from Sufat collects onto K-Knight. Nightfall ripped through ramps, connecting onto multiple players now.
Despite this, Neff still looking for opportunities to get onto the A side proper. Why is he that decay now dissipating? They've shrugged off the Nightfall.
And all the while, Wolves that had no reason to get off of this A site. Look at the rest of the map. Still unbreakable trip. Place in mid. And an AWP picked up from Juicy that's controlling B. They can be steadfast. 3 players ready here on A.
Right now, they got the perfect coverage. It's up to BLG here to generally manifest an opportunity.
Look at this Spring aware. Wants to double up. Play a crossfire with YU.
He's going to be rewarded if he holds this. Trap cleared there. Spring into action for 2. BLG now spikes in mid, but their players are over on the A side of the map.
Seconds left.
All but unrecoverable, this situation.
Poison orb.
People just bide his time. Can trade his life, that's fine.
One enemy
Wisey
remaining.
pops up and pops right back down. Not the kind of game of whack-a-mole he's looking to play. He's on the wrong side of that arrangement. Still prevails against Spring, but there are other players waiting for him, licking their lips. His Wolves, the scent of blood, they've caught it 1 round away from making it into a Masters Toronto playoffs.
Springs made such an intelligent rotation there into Vents after things were slowed down. There was that noise cut from BLG, pivoting to play the cross with YU, expecting that the BLG team would either try to work themselves into a split or at least try to draw some attention back towards mid to get some rotates off that A site. He is prepped, ready, holds the cross. More multi-kills for him, topping the board at 21. It's Wolves on match point, potentially doing the unthinkable. Juicy locking down B main with this op. Can he find the opening?
Camping down, it's K-Knight down already. And yet, Billy still determined to look for something here at B. Why you overextend, showstopper, Wisey. Oh, he gets tracked by Juicy. Now he can fall back onto the side, still with this op in hand. Neural Theft revealing the BLG are all about this B side hit, and so Juicy finds yet another. 3 kills with the op in this round. And he knows, he feels the weight of consequence on his shoulders. He knows how close Wolves are to completing a miracle run here through groups. Just one more step. Nap low, Viper's bit up here for Levius. They've at least got that to work with the Billy. They're fully committed. Still no spike plant. Levius has not found a window in order to deploy that. And F is looking for a timing, a way out. Lightsword deals with him. And it's on Levius now, all on the Viper, who still hasn't found a chance to plant. And it just so happens if you dare to dance with the Wolves, you might just get bitched. A second team from China in our Masters Toronto playoffs.
Juicy with an unreal play on the final round. Waited years to just be able to play in the VCT at all. Couldn't get a spot in Pacific, the home region. Has to go over to China. Joins this Wolves team who go on an unlikely run to even qualify for Toronto. That was Sufat's dream. And now they're taking it even further. He said today, he doesn't fear not advancing. He doesn't fear elimination. And they came out swinging.
Silfat says, all I've been through in the last 7 years, it has been tough. No one knows what it's taken him yet. Every time he stepped on this stage, it's been with a smile. He stood up, he clowned around with Zelsis first and foremost, and even after that lost, this team came back stronger and stronger.